Nice to meet you. Thanks for taking the time to do this call today.
Well, thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. You're from Free Code Camp. Why don't you tell us about yourself? What are you doing with us today?
Okay, yeah. Well, I currently work full-time with Free Code Camp, and I help out with a lot of things, but one of the things I do is manage the YouTube channel of Free Code Camp. And so on the channel, we try to get various contributors of tutorials and also talks from different groups and conferences. And so, yeah, I reached out to JavaScriptLA about posting some talks from your channel on the Free Code Camp channel, and we're pretty excited that you guys gave us permission, and so we've posted a few talks and that they've been popular on our channel, so that's how we initially got connected.
When I started looking up some of the tutorial videos that you do on YouTube, I found out that you have like a lot. And I was just really curious about, how did you get into programming, and how did you get into that role essentially?
Okay, yeah. Well, I a couple years ago I was actually a high school teacher, and I was basically a little bit burned out. I was just kind of ready to try something new, and I'd always been interested in web and software development. I just never had really pursued it for a career. So I decided I would maybe try it out, and I ended up doing a really quick degree in software development.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then I continued to learn things on my own. I actually that was when I first came across Free Code Camp. I went through their online curriculum for learning web development, and I continued to hone my skills. And then I just kind of wanted to give back to the community a little bit, and basically just put content out into the world. So
yeah.
I started making JavaScript training videos, and I posted them on my own channel at first, but then Quincy Larson, who runs Free Code Camp, found out about the channel, and he asked if I would be interested in posting to the Free Code Camp channel instead.
Oh, I see.
So I decided to completely abandon my YouTube channel and then just only post to Free Code Camp, which I've now started to realize is a very rare thing, because now I'm kind of running the whole YouTube channel, and I'm the person reaching out to other content creators to have them post on the Free Code Camp channel. And most people kind of want to keep their personal brand or keep their personal channel and then also post on the Free Code Camp channel. But I knew that my channel had 100 subscribers, and the Free Code Camp channel, I think at the time, had 75,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't even need to worry about my channel anymore, because this is such a great, just a great audience to start posting videos. So I've created about around 100 videos, mainly focused on JavaScript tutorials, and I just kind of got more and more involved with Free Code Camp. All as a volunteer. Most people, the Free Code Camp has really hundreds or maybe even 1,000 different volunteer contributors in all the different things that Free Code Camp does.
Yeah.
Like the YouTube channel, but also we have the core curriculum, where people can learn full stack web development, and then we also publish a lot of articles. So I think a lot of people come across Free Code Camp through the articles. And so I was just a volunteer at first, and I was started to manage the whole YouTube channel, and eventually I was asked to come on full time. So I had worked between Free Code Camp and being a teacher. I worked as a full-time software developer for a little while, and so I was pretty excited to really when I came on full time with Free Code Camp, I was just doing kind of what I was already doing, but a lot more of it, because I had a lot more time.
Of course.
And I was just super excited to be part of Free Code Camp, because it's just a really great organization. It's a nonprofit organization, and the whole goal is just to teach as many people as possible to code, and it's just basically all free resources, no advertising or anything, and it's just continues to grow. Our YouTube channel has really started to take off even more. When I first got involved, it was, I said, 75,000 subscribers. Now we're up to like 360,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just continues to grow, and we're just continuing to get more and more, at least on the YouTube channel. Well, really throughout the whole organization, more contributors, more people trying to wanting to help others out, and really starting just posting my own personal videos on YouTube really opened up a lot of things for my career. Not even just because I got this job at Free Code Camp, but it was really helpful when I got my jobs as a software developer that I had. Like I could say, I had this whole JavaScript course on YouTube.
Yes.
So that really, like when I was going to get jobs, multiple people said that was really stuck out to them as being impressive. And so that's why I try to encourage people trying to get jobs in software development, just to start putting content out there, and because really anybody can just post videos to YouTube.
Yeah.
So even if you're not posting on a channel that has tons of subscribers, anybody really can put out content to kind of show people that you know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, actually that's great. Like that's basically, kind of along the lines of what we've been kind of thinking about too, as far as a YouTube presence. The meetups that we do are really fun.
Teaching in person is way harder than making videos because when you're doing the videos, you can edit out all your mistakes. A lot of times I would just write a whole script beforehand, and just go with the script and edit all the mistakes. But when you're live, if you can't figure out something, it can really grind things to a halt in the instructions. So you have to know yourself a lot better. You have to know your stuff a lot better to be doing the in-person instruction.
Tell me about your personal life. Outside of code, who are you, and what do you do? Besides Free Code Camp, I guess.
Well, yeah, I live in Michigan, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I used to be a teacher, but decided to switch to software development. And one of the reasons, I'm really interested in, and I don't know, just kind of using my time to serve other people. And so, one thing would be I'm still excited to get involved with, teaching people to code. As far as even in person, as a teacher, I noticed that I taught in a low-income school district, and a lot of the students didn't have any. A lot of them didn't have computers at home. So pretty much all the high schoolers had smartphones, but a lot of them didn't have a whole full computer. And so it's hard to learn to program on a smartphone. I mean, it's possible, but it's a lot easier if you have a computer. So a lot of the students didn't even really have an opportunity to kind of learn programming. So I'm hoping to get more into that. This year I'm going to be coaching a robotics team at the middle school right near our house.
Wow. And
that kind of has robotics and programming involved. And so I actually did that when I was a teacher too, but I'm way more excited to coach a robotics team at a school where I'm not also the teacher. So there's more of, I don't have to, I can, it's just for a portion of the day that I'm working with the students, and all the students have chosen to go to it. So I'm going to continue to get involved with things with youth and teaching programming, robotics, and just one reason I was excited about programming is because it's easier. There's more jobs that are remote with flexible hours, which I end up getting at Free Code Camp. It's remote with flexible hours,
right?
So it kind of gives me more opportunity to get involved in the community with other things. And our newest adventure, my wife and I recently bought an old school bus that we're converting into an RV.
Wow!
And so we'll be able to travel around. We're not gonna completely sell our house, but for a few months a year we can travel around in the RV, and then hopefully for a while I've been interested in doing some sort of service or ministry in Central America.
Sure.
So that's my my wife realized that my wife knew that that was important to me, and she also knew that she doesn't really like being away from home for very long.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually her idea to get a bus and convert it into an RV. She's like, well, we can take her home with us. So we still have, it's still going to be a couple years before we can get everything done and go down there, but hopefully that we'll be able to complete the bus and maybe go on some road trips like that.
That's a great goal. I mean, like, that just sounds super fun. Are you planning to do kind of those things, like, if the kids grow up a little bit more, or are you thinking of doing that with the whole family, you know?
Yeah, so the tentative plan would be maybe in 2 to 3 years we could go to Central America on the bus.
Okay,
but who knows?
right.
I mean,
so that's pretty soon.
Because we have a 1-year-old now, so we want him to be at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
Things will be a little easier, but it'll be really it'll be a great experience for the kids. I mean, they'll learn so much, like being able to travel around and even go to like see other countries and stuff like that. So like maybe I don't know if we'll like just focus on doing it during the summer, or even possibly just like they would learn a lot more traveling than being in school. so like if we do have to pull them out of school, I'm not too worried about that.
Very cool, very cool. All right, cool. I have some other questions for you. Essentially, what do you really love about JavaScript, and why, or what do you feel passionate most about teaching people about?
I think that JavaScript is just not only is a great beginning language to learn, it's a great language to continue to learn because there's so many jobs in JavaScript, and it's just JavaScript is continuing to get bigger and bigger all the time, and more things are being written in JavaScript. So it seems like just a great language to start off with, and there's so many great resources for learning JavaScript. I've definitely been more focused on teaching kind of the basics of JavaScript. I've done some in-person courses about that, along with the stuff I've done on Free Code Camp.
Mm-hmm.
And this is only kind of a little bit related to your question, as far as like one of the best ways to learn JavaScript or even anything is just to teach it to other people.
Sure.
When I started making JavaScript training videos, I didn't actually know that much about JavaScript. I actually had to learn a lot of stuff for the videos. So it was like the process of creating these videos made me into an expert. Yes. So that's what I try to recommend to people is like, just if you just start teaching things to other people, even if it's just sort of like a blog post or something like that, that's where you can really like start to get to know it better. And it kind of paid off because actually one of my earlier interviews for a software job, they asked me a question. There was like a coding challenge question basically,
right? And
right. And I basically blanked out and couldn't remember how to do this. I'm trying to remember what the topic was.
I've been there, by the way.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact. I'm having trouble remembering the exact topic, but it was a topic that I had made a video about that very thing.
Oh wow!
So after the interview, I sent him a link to the video I had made that basically showed that actually I do know how to do this. I just couldn't remember how to do it during the interview.
Yeah.
And then they ended up being interested in hiring me. So I mean I don't know if there's a direct correlation between that, but just if you have created all this content, it's just another way to show that you know what you're doing, even if when you're like in the interview you get too nervous and can't remember things.
Of course. One thing I like about Free Code Camp is that you guys have like all of this great curriculum out there, and I was just kind of like curious. I mean, where did a lot of that come from? Were you kind of like involved in like creating that content track, or is it just something that Quincy kind of came up with, or?
Yeah, I mean the initial curriculum was created before I was involved because I went through the curriculum when I was learning, but it basically like Quincy kind of instigated things, but it was all really developed through volunteer contributors, like people just tons of different people that were really interested in it. I think Quincy made an initial kind of curriculum to go through, but then there was just a lot of people that were just really excited to help other people learn to code and to just contribute a bunch of things. So, I mean, the idea is that really we're going to continue adding more things to the curriculum, and it's all going to be through volunteer contributors and people that just want to give back to the community. And in some ways, it can be it's kind of like the Wikipedia model, where there's all these articles and really very few people actually pay. You know, people aren't paid to write the articles, but just because there's so many people contributing, you get really, really good content and really accurate content. And so that's the idea behind Free Code Camp is a lot of people. There's so many people contributing, so many people going through the curriculum, and they'll notice any mistakes and be able to submit a pull request or an update themselves. Anybody can improve the code.
Right.
So hopefully with that model, I mean, it's a pretty good, it's a scalable model that we can. It's easier to develop really high quality content through just having so many people involved.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the amazing thing that you guys have, that presence, that people, you know, really want to pay attention, volunteer their time. So I mean, like, you know, part of that, like, is it just because, you know, the name Free Code Camp, is that like kind of why people just kind of like volunteer, or is it because, you know, something else, like, you know, when they talk to you guys, like, or do you guys actively approach like students in colleges, you know, saying, hey, come do this? I mean,
well, I think as far as getting contributions, I think there's been like thousands and thousands of people that have gone through the curriculum, and like tons of people have gotten jobs after going through the curriculum. So right. I think there's a lot of people that just kind of want to give back to the community, like people that have gotten started going through Free Code Camp, got a really great job, and like just continue to improve their skills and get better and better, and they want to kind of give back by submitting fixes, and even just like people will develop full sections of the curriculum for us, and then other people can contribute. So it's just like we've been around for a few, enough time where there's just a lot of goodwill, and so many people have been helped by it that they want to give back.
Are there any other languages that you know besides JavaScript?
Yeah, well, when I did my degree, I got this software development degree in 6 months. So I was mainly focused on trying to get through it as quick as possible. There was a school that you could work at your own pace. Okay. So as soon as you finish all the stuff for one class, you go to the next class. So, and that focused on learning Java. Yes. But I mean, when you're going through it quickly, you don't learn things as in depth. But the good part is that a lot of colleges don't necessarily have the most up-to-date classes on, because technology is changing so quickly. Yeah. So my idea was just get the degree as quick as possible, so then I will have more time to self-study the things that are even more valuable for the industry. So I learned Java for that, and then Ruby and Ruby on Rails. Before I was working with Free Code Camp, my jobs really focused on Ruby on Rails, and then also some JavaScript. So I think those are like the three things: Java, Ruby, and JavaScript would be my languages that I'm most familiar with. Also, we didn't talk about this, but I have 2 courses with Manning Publications. Yeah. One about algorithms and another about deep learning, and both those courses use Python. Yeah, so both courses are geared toward beginners. One of them is called Algorithms in Motion, and it's basically teaching basic algorithms, like software algorithms, to people that have really no experience and want to kind of just get a full understanding. And there's a lot of great diagrams and animations. And then also the other one is called Deep Learning in Motion. And this is also geared toward beginners. For deep learning, you don't need to know calculus or anything. It's just like if you know basic high school math and just like a basic understanding of programming, you can learn like the deep learning course. Also, it's focused on showing how deep learning works from scratch without any frameworks or anything. So a lot of people will learn like deep learning using Keras or TensorFlow or some sort of framework, and so sometimes you can kind of miss out on how things really work because the framework is handling all the heavy lifting. So with my course, it shows like how you can create neural network with no framework or anything, just Python. And so the idea is that you'll have a better understanding about how things work. And eventually you'll probably go to one of the frameworks, but it's good to understand how things work without the frameworks. And both courses are based on books that other people wrote from Manning Publication. So it's not just me. So I contributed, but also some other people contributed too with the books.
That's really cool. That's awesome. I'm probably gonna take a look at those books today and just because like I also study too. Like it's I'm not just somebody who knows like everything. I always just like you. Like I'm constantly like reading.
Just try to give back to the community. I mean, the best way to learn is to teach other people, and the more content you can put out there, the more like employers will know that you know what you're talking about, and the more other people will reach out to you and want to kind of work with you. So the more you can put out there, the better things are going to be for your career.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Beau. I hope we can do more videos together. I hope we can have you one day at our group. Maybe just come like whenever you got that RV, just come down. And,
maybe when we do our road trip around the country.
Yeah,